All right, people. Thanks for coming back. I want to thank you for joining us on the continuation of Real Tough Talk. And the next game we're going to go over is we're going to talk about PME versus Don't Sleep. Now, PME is coming in. They are the best team in the league. No disrespect to 99, UTF. No disrespect to Grind Time. Monarchs. This team is the best team in the league because of what they're able to do on both sides of the ball. This team is third in offense. They're also second in defense. I mean, those are big stats alone. Then you look at their interceptions. They're in second in interceptions. So this team is able to do whatever it needs to do in order to help the offense get the possessions. Now, the only issue that the weakness of the team is they don't pressure the quarterback enough. They're last in the league in sacks. They don't really sack the quarterback. But at the end of the day, they're doing it defensively, led by two of their main guys in the secondary, which is Jaquan, who's been playing an awesome free safety, and Carmine, who's been playing a lockdown corner.
And that's the difference between their defense and a lot of others. Yes, you say that they can't sack the quarterback. They don't pressure the quarterback enough, but their secondary are good enough that they can hold the receivers as long, even though the plays kind of stretch out, because they're not pressuring the quarterback. The safeties and the corners are still able to stay with the receivers as long as possible in order to make stops. So that alone, elevates their defense, and the fact that they're able to pick off a lot of passes,
especially Jaquan, because he baits a lot of quarterbacks.
Yes, so the fact that they're able to do that so consistently just makes them that much of a stronger defense overall.
And Don't Sleep has not really been consistent this season. They're struggling this season offensively. This team is 8th in offense, but they're 4th in defense. So they're making plays defensively, which is keeping them as a contender because of the fact that they play great defense. They're also 4th in interceptions, but they're 1st in sacks. And that's led by Joel, who's able to sack the quarterback a lot. He's able to put pressure on the quarterback. And they got various other players that can put pressure there. Now, the whole thing comes down to KC. If KC can limit his turnovers and go back to that boring KC. I like boring KC. I'm going to score 1 to 2 touchdowns max, and then I'm going to kill the clock by chopping the field up. If they can get that KC back, the KC that took 99 to a championship, then this team will be right where they are because they definitely got a defense that can support them.
And the thing about it is the fact that they lead in sacks shows that obviously in touch football, the sacks matter because
Correct.
That shows that you're consistently putting pressure on the quarterback, and the safeties can, take advantage of that pressure. Quarterbacks have to force passes, so you're able to take advantage of that pressure. And that also adds on to the fact that your offense with KC is able to cut the clock and hold the ball as long as possible.
Right.
Stretch out the clock. Cut the clock as long as possible and make sure that the other opposing offense stays on the field as little as possible. All of that gives you a better formula for winning as long as Case is able to score those two touchdowns that he's normally known for. They have the good formula to win games overall if they stick to that.
And AI's having a great season. Mm-hmm. He should be an all-star. Benny?
Yes.
Benny's the other guy who's playing great football. Aha and Benny are playing on the next level, which is why they can keep Don't Sleep competitive as long as KC is not turning the ball over, which I don't see him doing that consistently. I think he'll be able to turn it over if he goes back to the boring KC.
I think that the key to that is these guys got to start holding the ball. They dropped a lot of passes this season, and that forced KC to have to, try to make something happen on his own. So if they're able to fix that, I think that they'll be just fine as KC has more control of the football.
All right, we're going to jump right into the game. Rel's going to get the ball for PME first. Rel on first down, throws deep to Shane in the middle, picked off by Benny, giving the ball to Don't Sleep, and Shane is here. He's finally making his debut, had to make these last 2 games, and he made it. And Rel wants to get him involved. He's trying to make a play, but the thing about them is Benny and Aha have the height to stay with him, and Benny makes Rel pay with this interception right here.
And it's like, when a person has a shiny new toy they want to use, they can't wait to use it. That's what it looked like on this play here. They felt like they could go right at Shane and get him in the game quick, but don't sleep. At least that these guys as defenders knew where they were going. So Benny's able to step up and make the play to intercept the ball. That's great defense right there, knowing exactly where they're headed.
Second down, Casey's blitzed by Mestre. Throws to Joel in the gap, who runs for a decent gain. Fourth down, Casey on 4 rush, throws to Benny in the gap for a nice gain, picking up the first down. They're able to move the ball. PME is blitzing Mestre. Now, Mestre is possibly a Hall of Famer in this football game.
Yeah.
Blitzing is not what he does. That's not what he does. It's a waste to have Mestre out of everybody blitz the quarterback. It's not what he do. While you see him give no type of pressure because he's just not capable of bringing that pressure because that's not his game. And if after a few plays, Casey's able to get the first down. Second down, Casey throws in the gap for a DT game, getting him to the 20-yard line. Fourth down, Casey throws it up in the end zone, passes high, incomplete, turnover on downs. They're not able to capitalize on the interception, and they give the ball back to TPME.
Listen, but I'm going to say this. The fact that they were able to at least get the first down and, drive down the field, hopefully they get, the engines going on offense later on. But this is not out of Casey's game. Yes, they turn over the ball, but the fact that they use so much clock, they can rely on the defense to step up and make a play and get their offense back on the field. I don't see this hurting them that much as long as their defense is consistent.
After getting the first down, Rel with 2 passes in the gap for a decent gain. Third down, Rel is blitzed by Chris and runs on a short gain, getting him to the 20-yard line. Last down, Rel on 4 rush, throws it up, knocked away by Maine. That's going to be a stop. And one thing Maine talks a lot, Maine is basically like a celebrity when it comes to Instagram. He talks a lot about his game. He's making plays this season defensively. And that's exactly what this team needs. He's one of the reasons why they have a top 5 defense. He's able to make plays. He's able to read the plays. Now, Maine may not be jumping routes and taking the ball the other way like Dion, but the guy can break up plays, and he does it here for the stop.
And all you have to have is the mentality to play the game and know exactly what zones you can cover. And that's exactly what Maine and all of these guys on defense are stepping over and stepping up and showing that they can do in this game right here. They're clogging out the gaps, and they're knocking down passes, and they're getting some good stops on defense right now.
KC with 3 passes to Joel in the gap for a decent game, picking up the first down. Second down, KC throws to Joel on the sideline, getting into the 12-yard line. Third down, KC with blocker from Happy throws to Aha, who has a step on Carmine, caught in the end zone for the touchdown. Nico gets the interception on the extra point, but Don't Sleep goes up 6-0 with 20 seconds left to the half.
And this is a design play for Aha. And the thing about it is that extra time that Happy gives him gives Casey enough of a window to make this pass to Aha. Because Carmine is busy, watching other receivers or whatever, he's not paying attention to the receiver running behind him. By the time you notice, it's too late, and Casey makes an accurate pass to Aha in the end zone.
He clearly got beat.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that Casey went right after him.
Yes.
Aha is a guy who can play both sides of the ball. He plays a little better defensively, but now he's stepping it up offensively, which is his first love.
Yeah.
Great play by him there. Happy with the great time. This guy is very underrated with his blocking. Gives Casey time. After getting the first down, Rel throws to Shane on the sideline for a nice gain, getting him to the 12-yard line with 4 seconds left. Last play to have with blocking from Will. Rel throws it to Mason in front of the end zone, knocked away by Chris, taking us into the half, 6-0.
This is the momentum that you usually see, Casey and the teams that he lead move by. So the fact that he's back to that in the first half is good for the defense because they're able to hold and they know that their quarterback can control the ball. Yes, it's only 6-0, but we've seen games like this and they come away with wins anyway. So this is where they need to be. As long as they keep this momentum, Casey looks comfortable in the pocket, and the defense is able to make stops like they are, they have a good chance of coming away with a win.
This team, if I'm PME, we're underestimating Don't Sleep because we know we got 99 next. Mm-hmm. Now, Doughboy is the owner of the team. He put the team in. He'll be considered the GM, but he's not really a coach. He's not really a strategist. He's the guy that brings talent together. Now, this team doesn't have Ralph anymore. Jaquan has to be the leader. He has to get them together and say, listen, let's stop worrying about the next game and let's win this game. We win these both games, we can lock up the number 1 seed. So he has to come away with that thought and mind process. As far as Rel is looking like a quarterback who's inconsistent. He's trying to get too many people involved. First, he tried to have a crush on Shane in the beginning, threw an interception. Now he's trying to get too many people involved with spreading the ball. He needs to go after Jaquan and go after Mace. Those are his best offensive players. Go after them guys and get some scores. We're going to jump into the second half. Casey with 3 passes in the gap for a decent game, picking up the first down. Casey then throws to Joel near the sideline for a decent game. Third down, Casey scrambles on 4 rush, throws to Mike in the middle. With contact from Mace, the pass is incomplete. Don't see past the punt.
And yes, I spoke about them, using up the clock or whatever. But you want to start off strong in the second half, and that's not what they do here. They came up just short. They got to have a better game plan on offense if they want to actually have a better opportunity to win this game.
Second down, Rel throws to Shane on the sideline for a decent game. Third down, Rel throws to Shane in the gap. That's going to be dropped. PME is going to have to punt. And Shane is not giving us anything today. We brought him to be a playmaker. We brought him to be able to expand the field. We brought him to take a little pressure off of Jaquan and off of Mace. He's not giving us nothing. He's supposed to be our third option, and he's not right now. And Rel needs to learn maybe it's time to go to somebody else and stop trying to get him the ball. Don't Sleep is going to get the ball, but they're not able to do nothing as they get stopped giving the ball back to PME. Second down after a short pass, Rel with blocker from Will throws to Jaquan in the gap. Caught, but is ruled incomplete as the ball is set to hit the ground during the catch. We'll never get to see what happened. Unfortunately, the view was blocked. I was the ref on that, and obviously I don't know where the camera's at. I'm trying to do my job. I got in the way. We can never see what happened. But at the end of the day, it is ruled incomplete. So we're not going to say it's a good call. We're not going to say it's a bad call. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what happened with the play, so we're going to have to move on. Third down, Rel is blitzed by Chris. Throws to Chris in the gap for a decent game. That's going to take us to fourth down. Now, I think they should punt. Doughboy yelled they should punt. But Rel decides he wants to go for it. Fourth down, Rel on 4 rush with blocker from Will. Is sacked by Happy, giving it right back to Don't Sleep. That is a huge sack. They should have punted. They had 2 chances to get it first, and they couldn't move the ball.
And yes, I think that was a bad decision. Listen, Doughboy is the leader of this team. He's supposedly the coach or whatever. So I think that he would know better when it comes to the best decision for the game. He wanted to punt. Rhodes was confident enough to go for it, but they were a decent length away from the first down, and it's only 6-0. You have an opportunity to stop them and get right back on the field. They should have took that chance, but because they wanted to go for it, they get surprised by Happy speeding in on this play here. And if you look, Will is their blocker. Will is a good blocker, but one thing that he did not anticipate was Happy speeding by on a blitz and getting right to Rel to get the sack. He comes in too fast from the react. That is a great way to catch the blocker by surprise and force the stop right here. Good defense by Don't Sleep.
First of all, that goes down to coaching. I'm explaining to you why. Happy got, I believe, 2 championships in his league with Kavamar. Happy was on that team doing what? Giving him the ball. Happy made all-star teams by doing what? Giving him the ball. I like Will. Good game. Can't block Happy. Too much speed. Happy has too much speed. And Will tends to struggle with speed rushers. He struggles against those guys. If you have a power guy, he can stay with him. But when it comes to speed, he can't. Now the question is, why would you go for this ball and not just go 4 and out? You have a timeout. You have several timeouts. You have your timeouts.
Yes.
And you can stop the clock, forcing Casey to have to score. They don't, and they give Don't great field position. Casey's blitzed by Nico and sacked by Chris. Third and goal after a short run. Casey finds Ahan in front of the end zone. Chris gets the extra point in the game. Don't Sleep comes away with the win, 13-0.
And this right here is the reason why they lost this game. They would have punted, forced KC to drive down the field. Now, yes, KC is going to run the clock the best as possible. Right. But you take your chances, because now that you didn't punt, they're in scoring position right here. So they had to run 2-3 plays, and they're in the end zone. Now it's definitely game over. I would take my chances and let my defense play their game. They didn't do that. They decided to go for it, maybe because, they looked at Don't Sleep's record. These guys are bums. We could beat them. It don't matter. And because they gave away that opportunity, they got caught by surprise with this sack here. So this is one thing about football that's makes this one of the most interesting games to watch.
Correct.
Anything can happen from anybody. So you got to anticipate that and weigh your options and know that this is not a time to, gamble. This is not a gambling play right here. I would rather take the safe bet and have faith in my defense. It is only 6-0. But because they didn't choose properly here, they end up getting stopped, and KC has the easy lane to score, and they lose the game. I think that they have to make better decisions like that. Make better decisions like that, and make better decisions than that in the future.
What's going on? Stephen J here with Joel. Come through with a big win over PME 13-zip. What was the game plan coming into this game? Because they looked like they thought it was an easy win for them.
Pretty much, we know he got an arm, so it's pretty much just taking away his bombs and offense catching that rock. Because we all know that, we've been dropping some passes pretty much, you know what I mean? But that was our game plan. Take away his bombs and catch that rock from my boy.
Tell me about your defense. Defense has been playing great. This is a great scoring team. You held them to no points. Tell me about the defense.
I mean, we kept our composure, you know what I'm saying? We never broke down, you know what I mean? We just played together, communicated. We actually communicated, you know what I'm saying? And there's a good chemistry right now that we got on defense, you know what I mean? And hopefully this just boosts our momentum a little bit more, you know?
Casey, you went back to your old style, scoring quick, killing the clock. What made you go back to your old style today?
Well, as you could see, week 1 through whatever, it wasn't working for me. Changing it up, so I went back to my old ways.
How big is this win for y'all? This is an undefeated team.
It was really big, because not for nothing, we actually owe them, because they did beat us in the chip in BQFL, but it is what it is right now. We're one up on them.
What can we look forward to the rest of the season after a big win like this?
More wins. More and more wins.
All right.
Like I told you, playoffs is zip. Everyone's zip. You'll see.
We're going to thank them for this interview. They just beat PME, who was undefeated. Got to watch this game on the site, guys. We'll see you next week.
We're going to thank those guys for the interview. First, I'm going to talk about Don't Sleep. 13-0. That's Don't Sleep football.
Mm-hmm.
A touchdown or two and play defense. That is a great strategy by them. That's what they've been doing their whole career, and that's how they win games if you're this team. Now, when I looked at some interesting things, the numbers, I'm a numbers guy. I love numbers. I do the research and I check all this stuff. This game, KC threw no interceptions. And they was able to burn the clock, which they won this game. Now, I always said all season, if KC can limit his turnovers, this team has a great chance to win because they got a very good defense. The last game they won, KC threw 2 interceptions on first down. And they were up 1, and this is against Never Scared, up 1 with the ball. KC throws a pick to Mamba on first down. Gives Fred back the ball, up 1. And Aha gets the interception, runs it back for a touchdown to pretty much put them up 7, winning the game for them. That's not KC. This is KC, which we saw, which is why the team got their second win.
Yeah.
KC has to be boring. KC, he has to be broccoli.
It's just funny how you keep saying boring.
Yeah,
KC.
he has to be broccoli. Remember the year San Antonio won the championship in basketball? People didn't like him because they were boring.
Mm-hmm.
They move the ball around, get to the open man. They're boring. There's no ISO. That KC got to be boring. Boring gets you championships. That's all it is. That's all it takes. If he can remember that, then he'll be good. This defense is going to support him, led by Aha and Benny. We're happy and Joel bringing the pressure. This is a very good football team that won against an undefeated team, give this team their first loss of the season. That is great football. Congrats, and Don't Sleep with that win. Now with PME, first of all, what kills this team is the lack of leadership. They lost Ralph, and Timmy is not on this team because he's an A. And they need somebody to step up. And I always question Jaquan's ability to lead. There is no way this team should have went for it on 4th down, especially with Doughboy yelling punt. They should have punted. You go to 4-and-out, and you're good. You have a defense that is number 2 in the league,
Yeah.
tied for second with grind time. So because you have a defense that's going to back you up, you have to punt that ball. And then you have a defense that's second in insoles. So they're going to get you the ball back if given an opportunity. They blew that. Now, if I'm Doughboy, who runs a team, I'm concerned with Rel. And I know you're going to say, well, why would you be concerned with Rel?
Mm-hmm.
This team just got their first loss. They're 3-1. You know, well, why would you be concerned? Say why I'm going to be concerned. I'm concerned with this loss because I looked at the numbers and you get to see how this team is winning games.
Mm-hmm.
They beat grind time, right?
Yeah.
Defense got them 2 interceptions. They beat UTF. Defense got them 4 interceptions. They beat Never Scared. Now, that was the first time the defense did not get them any interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
So you would say, what about that? Right?
Yeah.
Rel got ejected that game. Chris came in that game to throw. Mm-hmm. Chris threw 2 touchdowns and ran a touchdown in. Never Scared would end up losing by 2 points. I think it was 27-25. But the bottom line is, this game, no interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
They lose. They don't even score. Rel needs the defense to bail him out to win games. He hasn't proved that he can win on his own. He's been supported by a defense that is second in interceptions. Remember, the team is 9th in sacks, so they don't pressure, but they make turnovers. In the UFL, it's all about possessions because it's hard to score. So if you have the defense that's giving you more opportunities to score, you're going to win games. He didn't get no interceptions this game. They lost. That is a crucial thing.
Yeah.
So we haven't really seen what Rel really can do on his own. And I think it remains to be seen going into the future or going into the next game.
I mean, the interesting thing about this game, and I'm just going to end it with this, is the quarterback that leads the league in interceptions right now gave up none against a number 2 defense.
That's second in interceptions.
Yeah. That's their number 2 defense.
Yeah.
They're tied number 2 in defense.
Correct.
And is second in interceptions.
Correct.
And he gave up none against this team. That is a much needed improvement from
Correct.
KC. He slowed down his game. He took away the forced passes.
Correct.
And he, took his time. And I think that when KC is able to take his time and play his game, he's much more effective because of it. Because at the end of the day, that slow, like you said, broccoli, boring game got 99 to the championship, helped 99 get to the championship. So regardless of what you can say about KC, and let's not forget, KC also played really well until he threw his arm out when he played in the New York City Bowl.
Correct.
So he knows how to win games. It's just he has to play his game, his style. And when he's playing that, he has a more effective way of winning. And I think that they need to move forward with that.
All right, we're going to wrap this game up with Don't Sleep. Coming away with the win, 13-0. We'll be right back.
Was there last Sunday, 2 broken fingers, and nobody got by me. And I got 2 sacks.
Next game up, we're going to have PME versus 99. Now, 99 is coming off of a win to Rep City.
Mm-hmm.
PME, we just saw them. They took a loss, their first loss of the season, to Don't Sleep. Now, 99 is an interesting team. You know, this team, I could say, play with emotion, play with a lot of energy. But their greatest strength could be their greatest weakness, which is their quarterback. This season, it seems to me like Shannon has tried to be more of a quarterback. And they just don't look the same this season. Also, we're talking about a team that was always topped in defense. You know, 99 could stop people. They're fifth this year. Scoring, they're fourth, but fifth is a concern. But the biggest concern for me with this team is, you know what? They're tied for 8th in interceptions. This is the team that we've seen in the top 3
Yeah.
2 seasons in a row. This season, they're in 8th right now. They're not getting interceptions. So at the end of the day, this team is not leading interceptions. I don't think that they look like that dominant team that we're used to. And it's all led by their quarterback, who does not really look dominant this season.
I think that a lot of it is, you know, they don't have that same fire as they did last year. They're still a talented team that they are, but a lot of guys don't always make the games. Shannon's not always here.
Or he comes late. Yeah,
or he
'cause
comes
his work
late.
schedule.
So obviously, you know, that type of momentum, that type of, you know, the vibe of the game is not the same when their leader Shannon's not here. You know, when, you know, all of their main guys aren't here. You know, so it's always bouncing around which 99 team you're going to get. And I think that that's the problem. They haven't consistently all been here at one time from the first hike to the last hike, you know? And I think that's what's killing them this season. They could be a much better, more formidable team than they are now based on that, in my opinion. So is there a chance that they can get back to that later on? Yes, because I believe that they still have the same dangerous team that they had before.
Right.
They just got to be here consistently and have that, you know, winning vibe that they usually have, you know, that they don't always have when they're not all here at the same time.
All right. And you know, PME just came off of a loss, and they cannot afford to lose both games. They have to be able to put away 99, who is a top team.
Yeah.
This is an out-of-division game. So they want to prove that they can beat the other division in case they meet in the championship. So I think it all comes down to them jumping ahead early and not giving 99 an opportunity to take the game or get momentum, because, you know, once this team got their momentum going, they're tough to beat. We're going to jump in the game. Shannon's going to get here late as Ghostface makes the start. After getting the first down, Ghostface with 2 plays for a decent game. 3rd down, Ghostface throws the shot in the middle. Jaquan gets a hand on it. It's picked off by Carmine, who runs it all the way to the 5-yard line. These 2 guys are the best on their defense. Jaquan and Carmine. Carmine has been a very elite corner, and Jaquan has been an Ed Reed type safety. He's been jumping the ball, making plays, and helping his teammates get involved defensively.
And my thing is, he just got there in time to get this hand on that play, because Ja is normally a guy that can kill you in the middle. Yes, he's more.
And not to cut you off, we've seen last week,
Yeah.
Ghostface find Ja early
Yes.
in the game for a touchdown, so
Yes.
he went to that same
So
play.
my thing is, he is a guy who's dangerous on both sides of the field. He's one guy, if you give him an opportunity, he will kill you in that middle. So Ghostface goes to him on this play here, but Jaquan gets there just in time to get a hand in to influence the play and knocks it out and gives Carmine the opportunity to pick it off, get them great field position.
1st and goal, Ralph finds Fish in the front of the end zone for the touchdown. Jaquan gets the extra point, 7-0 PME.
And the fact that they have so many options on this team, that is crazy. And Fish is a guy that they haven't even utilized to his potential yet. He's a guy that can run in the gaps. You block, he takes off. He's a guy that's fast enough to get you some yardage in the gaps as well. So there's a lot of things that they can do with Fish too that they haven't even used yet. And the fact that all of these guys can influence the game in such a good way just shows that PME hasn't even tapped their full potential yet.
1st down, Ghostface with blocking from Book, throws to Twan in the gap, off target, picked off by Jaquan. Back-to-back turnovers. These elite corners able to make 2 big plays. It's great secondary. PME secondary looked like 99 secondary.
Yeah.
And they're making turnovers all over the field. Great stop by them.
But I'm going to say this. There's one extra defender that I don't think PME there's one extra defender I don't think that this 99 team anticipated when they started playing the game, and that is the weather. The snow is out there. It's very blurred. It's like the snow is everywhere. So that's getting in your quarterback's eyes. It's hard to see out there. And Ghostface, not being their starter, struggling to get passes down the field. And because of that, that gives PME the opportunity to pick it off yet again.
After getting the first down, Rel passes to Nico in the gap for a nice game. Fourth down, Rel with blocking from Will throws to Nico on the sideline, who's tagged short of the end zone by Ja. Nice hit, turnover on downs. That is a way for Ja to get physical. You know, he's frustrated with the play earlier that got picked off, and he lets Nico feel it, and that's a great hit for the stop.
And maybe it's because they didn't get closer to the end zone, but it looks like PME is not necessarily sweating this drive. They wanted to jam them, and that's why they ran to the 5-yard line. Nico took that hit like it was nothing, but 99 has to feed off of this stop and move the ball. It's up to them to start that momentum and start it here in this drive.
Shannon gets in the game. Second down, on 4 rush. He runs in the gap for a decent gain. Third down, Shannon throws the edge in the gap. High, incomplete, but PME is flagged for cursing, forcing the first down, which is going to be a 20-yard penalty. Huge penalty by PME. Second down, after a short pass, Shannon loses the ball as he hikes it, loss of down. Third down, Shannon is blitzed by Nico, throws the edge in the gap, getting him to the 10-yard line. Fourth down, Shannon with blocking from Bot, throws to the front of the end zone, knocked away by Jaquan, taking us into the half, 7-0. If you look here, the receivers are not running into the end zone, and they get stopped going into the half.
And I think that play where Shannon lost the ball,
yep.
I think that killed them, because that was an extra possession, an extra play that they could have got closer to the end zone. But because he loses the ball, I guess it's slippery because it's snowing, bad conditions out there. And Shannon's just pretty much getting here.
Right.
He's not fully in the game. He loses control of the ball in that play, and because of that, they're forced to throw that pass on fourth down. So unfortunately, they weren't able to get the drive to end the half properly, and they're not able to score here.
I hear what you're saying about the weather, but there's 2 teams out there.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody has the advantage. Shannon should, because he's a runner. He has to run the ball more. He has to run the ball more. And I understand what you're saying about the fact with, Ghostface kind of struggled. But my issue is his second possession, he threw a pick on first down. You're trying to get your quarterback here. Your quarterback is on his way. You were supposed to take your time on that drive, even if you have to call a timeout. You give your quarterback the time to get here. I think Ghostface is used to being the guy when Shannon ain't here and not realizing he's the reliever until Shannon gets here. So your job is to relieve and not turn the ball over, which he does twice in the first half.
And PME, it looks like they're off the heels of that loss to Don't Sleep. And it's like that, re-energized them to take this game seriously. And they're playing better defense. They're playing better football as, coming out of that. 2 effective interceptions, 2 good ways to get their offense back on the field.
Right.
Remember how you said that they always got to give Rel a couple interceptions to
Right.
get him into the game?
And they got
That's
2.
exactly what they got in the first half. Now it's now the attention's on Rel. And in the second half, he has to step up and get them into the end zone. He already did that in the first half. He has to keep that momentum in the second.
We're going to jump right into the second half. After getting the first down, Rel throws the mace on the sideline for a nice gain. Third down, Rel is blitzed by Malcolm and throws to Chris on the sideline, who bobbles it but catches it inbounds for a decent gain, getting him to the 7-yard line. Chris is a very capable receiver who also plays quarterback. The guy definitely has speed, though, and it's good for Rel to know he can depend on him to make catches like this. Great play by Chris there. Fourth down, Rel on 4 rush, rolls left, finds Chris open in the end zone, but a touchdown. The defense slides as Rel rolls left, leaving Chris wide open. Lucas gets the extra point. 14-0, PME.
And this is uncharacteristic of 99. It looks like everybody was worried about Rel running or rolling. I don't see why they would even do that, because your defender's supposed to stay with the receiver. And one thing that they always say in the goal line defense, never leave the corners. That's exactly what this corner here does. I believe that is Malcolm at the corner. He slides over with the rest of the team and leaves Chris right there wide open for the easy touchdown.
Remember, it's 14-0 PME. After getting the first down, Shannon throws deep to Christian on the sideline. Christian stopped running incomplete. That's a big thing because Christian has been Shannon's main guy since Christian got to 99. These guys don't look like they're on the same page there. Second down, Shannon throws a bop in the middle, knocked away by Nico. Third down, Shannon on 4 rush runs, but it's tagged by Mestre for a short gain. That is a great play by Mestre to get Shannon before he can get momentum on that run. Fourth down, Shannon tries to run on 4 rush, but loses the ball. Turnover on downs. Great stop by PME.
And I think that third down play was good. First of all, the first down play hurts them because they could have had a big play. Shannon takes a shot, and because Christian and Shannon were not on the same page, that's a lost opportunity there. And then on third down, when Shannon goes to run on 4 rush, Mestre is right there to pick up and make sure that Shannon does not get much yardage, because usually those are the bailout plays that Shannon gets to keep the drive going. Because he's not able to get this, he had no opportunity to get any more. He tries to force on 4th down, he loses it. That was a great defensive play on 3rd down to hold them there.
At the beginning of first down, Railroad blocker from Will throws to Jaquan open on the sideline for a nice gain, getting to the 10-yard line. If you look here, Josh watching another receiver and leaves him open. Second and goal, Ralph finds Lucas open in the front of the end zone for the touchdown. Ending the game, PME comes away with the win, 20-0.
And this was PME throughout the whole game. They had the full momentum. The defense played strong in the first half, and they did not release 99 and let up on them in the second half. They played good defense. They gave Shannon virtually no options out there, even though he came in late. And they made sure that they clogged up the running lanes the best that they could. That last 3rd down play, I think that was the key to them showing that they can, they're prepared for guys like Shannon. They were prepared in this game, and Shannon had no answer because there were no receivers, giving them any open options in the gaps. So PME played very effective defense. This is the defense they needed to play in the last game. At least they recovered from last game, and they played it this game, showing that the damage that they kind of closed the bleeding. They kind of stopped the bleeding. That gash that they had in that last game didn't hurt them that much, and they were able to recover in this game.
Well, like I said before, the defense got 2 interceptions for them. So the defense got 2 interceptions, they won. Defense got 2 interceptions versus 99, they won. 4 interceptions versus UTF, they won. 2 interceptions versus Grind Time, they won. No interceptions versus Don't Sleep, they lost. And no interceptions versus Never Scared, they won, but only because Fred misses the 2-point conversion at the end, and Rel got ejected, and Chris came in and threw 2 touchdowns and scored 1 running. This defense has been the lead of this team. They are not a great offensive team like we thought. That stuff could be hidden in numbers.
Yeah.
Without seeing, you realize when you put everything together, what's really going on with this team. They need their defense to get turnovers in order for them to win games. This team is second in defense on interceptions. This team is second in defense combined, total defense. This team is all about their defense. As long as they can keep that same defense led by Jaquan and Carmine, this team can hurt people. They don't need this pressure. They're 9th in sacks, but it doesn't matter because they find a way to bait you and take the ball away from you.
And one thing I got to say with PME, hopefully they understand this moving forward, I'm sure that most of the guys do, is that there's nothing to prove on the field.
No.
They have the game down pat if they play this style of play.
Yep.
If they're able to keep this game going, they have a good shot of going all the way. So, the trash talking, them losing that last game, the fact that they were able to keep their heads and win this one just shows that, they're not going to stick to what happened previously. They were able to, still play effective football at the end of the day. So they have the potential through the roof. Yes, you say that they may not always play well on offense the way that they need to, but they have the potential to run away with it if they want to.
That defense is elite.
So, yes, they have the elite defense, but they have so many options on offense that, like I said earlier, they haven't tapped into full potential yet. So, when they get those gears going, it's scary what defense that they have to face because they'll be in a lot of trouble facing this PME team when they're playing at their best.
And 99 is in trouble. 99's last 7 possessions, counting their last 2 possessions versus Rep City last week, They've been stopped 7 times, and 3 of them was interceptions. That's with Ghostface. That's with Shannon and Ghostface. Both their quarterbacks. This team's in trouble. Defensively, like I said before, they're 8th in interceptions, turnovers practically, in interceptions. And they are 7th in sacks. So their defense is not bringing a lot of pressure. Now, their combined defense, when I look at it, they're 5th in total defense. But you got teams like Don't Sleep, Grind Time, PME, and Monarchs all got a better defense than you. They got to fix that. And offensively, they're 4th. Now, PME, Grind Time, and UTF all score more points than them. But this last 7 possessions kind of hurt them. Like I said, they haven't scored in the last 7 possessions with the ball, and 3 of them was interceptions. Shannon got to say, I'm a quarterback. I'm going to use my legs when I need to. You know, he already knows. Let me rephrase that. Shannon should know he's a quarterback already. You don't got to prove it. Run. Run the ball. Nobody want to see you run. Run the football. Shannon is running way less than he ran last season. That's a problem. Defensively, they're not looking like the same defense that they had last season. They miss Herbie. Twan does not look like that awesome free safety that we used to seeing. Not because he's not capable. I'm just saying the teams are not going after him no more.
And I'm gonna disagree with you on there somewhat. Yes, overall the stats prove that these guys are not playing at the same level of defense that they were last year. But the attendance wasn't the same this year as it was last year. So you got to take that into account too. There's a couple games that Twan missed. There's a couple games that Shannon missed. There's a couple games that Ja missed. That's 3 of their best players right there.
That's still their fault.
Yes, it is. But it's not because, Twan hasn't played the same football. It's impossible to do that when you haven't been here consistently.
Let me ask you a question. Did they get any interceptions this game?
No, they didn't.
Well, then that's the problem.
Okay.
They're used to giving the ball to Shannon to run, and they're used to using that defense to get interceptions. They have not done that. And again, that is a main part of the team. When your last 2 seasons, one of them went to the chip, and the other one you had a top record. They had a top record.
Okay.
Both years. They had a top record with Casey throwing. They had a top record with Shannon throwing. And they went to a chip in the last 3 years. But in the last 3 years, they was top in interceptions. And now you're 8th. That is a problem. Something is not being done the same. Like I said, they missed Herbie. And they missed Shannon being that safety now. Shannon now, because of the A rule, is on the sideline.
Yeah.
And that's why their defense dropped dramatically as far as getting interceptions.
And I think that him, also being able to lead them on defense. Sometimes I feel like a captain is more effective than a coach.
Correct.
Because the coach can shout plays, he can have designs and all of that for what they can do.
The captain's on the field with
But
you.
the captain is like the soldier on the field with you. They're on the battlefield with you. So they can see what you see and strategize and switch up as they move along. So because they don't have Shannon out there to help them with their strategy, it's a little different. And maybe that is a factor. And yes, that was a good point that you brought up about Shannon not being there. I think that is what they miss more than Herbie not being there. Yes, Herbie helps as well, but I think Shannon not being there with them hurts them a lot more.
Well, combine both.
Yeah.
Combine both.
Yes.
Now, Jay's been playing a great corner.
He was a good fill-in.
But he's not a Herbie or a Shannon.
Yeah.
He's not. Because Herbie and Shannon not only can get the ball, they can take it the other way, and they're good at putting people in the positions where they need to be in order to capitalize on mistakes.
I'm not at the point where I'm saying that they're in trouble yet. They have a few games left to go, and if after we see those few games, they have this same game or whatever, this same struggling or whatever, that's when we could say, okay, it's panic mode. But I'm not there yet because I haven't seen them play at their best yet. Obviously every team had those early games where a lot of guys didn't show up or whatever, and that kind of leads up to where they are now, 99 included. So I haven't seen them play at that level to say, okay, now they're struggling. This is something that they have to worry about. At least not yet. I can't say as negatively as you yet.
Conductor, let me know when is the next stop. because
That's what we're gonna disagree.
I've said when this team is making turnovers and they intercepting the ball,
Yeah.
they're dangerous. They're not doing it this season. Conductor, can you let me know when is the next stop?
Okay.
I want to get off. We're gonna wrap this one up with PME shutting out 99-20-0. We're gonna wrap up the show. We're gonna thank y'all for joining us at Real Tough Talk. Next week we'll show you, because this is a very crucial week as far as the All-Stars, as far as the award winners. We don't have as many awards this year as we had last year, but we're gonna tell you who's the contenders up there for the awards. And we're gonna have to see what's going on next week. Well, this week's game is very important.
Yeah.
Very important. A lot of playoff matchups that's definitely big to be played this week. We're gonna wrap this one up. On behalf of Real Tough Talk, I'm Stephen J. My partner Ghost. We're gonna see y'all guys next week on another episode of Real Tough Talk. We out here. And I'm leaving the book.